Hey guys, what up? In this video we're gonna learn about SSIS. SSIS is SQL Server Integration Service. It's really cool. So I'm gonna talk basics about SSIS and you're gonna love it, and it's gonna be super easy and simple. So first go ahead, if you have Windows, install these three things: SQL Server Developers Edition, which is also called Full Edition, Visual Studio, and an in tool called SQL Server Data Tool. Just make sure that you have same version installed for this and Visual Studio. Okay, so I have already installed all of these things and I'm gonna get started now. So the way I'll teach you about SSIS in this video is through example. I have an example here. I have a CVS file which have some raw data. These are the columns and this is the data, and I want this data to be, so here I want two things. First thing, I want this data to be converted into um, a staging table in SQL Server. Let me show you the design. So this is the same as the CVS file. So that's my first step. This would be the first part of the video. I want that as CVS file to be converted into SQL Server database, and the next step would be to denormalize this data and split it into different tables. So this S1 table contains S name, status, city, and the primary key which is indexed, and P1 contains primary key, P name, color, weight, and SP is the bridge table between S and P, and it also have quantity QTY. So if you look at the design, S hash is the primary key and it's also an identity, so we don't have to send data to S dash. SQL Server will take care of it, which is really cool. So this is my Visual Studio. The way how Visual Studio looks is you have one SSIS toolbar, you have a package, and you have a solution explorer, and you have an output panel. So if you do not have any of these blocks, just make sure go to view section and open it. If SSIS toolbar is really important, you can also right click and go to SSIS toolbar for this toolbar. This is where all the elements are. So yeah, I would actually, you would see all this when you create a new project. So go to new project, and under business intelligence, select integration service, select integration service project, name your project something. I'm just gonna go and keep this by default, integration service project 2. Click OK. Yeah, and it's gonna create, this is my new project. So whenever you create a new project, this SSIS will create a package for you. This is my package for the project. There it is. And so let's get started. Okay, in SSIS you have two different main important parts: data flow and control flow. Data flow is basically a flow of data, and control flow is the control flow of data flow. I guess you'll understand these terms better after few minutes. Let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna drag and execute SQL task. What this task does is I can execute an SQL statement by this task. Because I have not connected my database right now, there is no connection. I'll double click it and go to connection. The type of connection OLEDB is already selected because it's SQL Server, and I'm gonna create a new connection. So there is my new connection. If this is not there in your system, click new and create it. As I already have it, I'll just click OK and OK. Whoopsie. And I forgot to add the SQL statement. So what I want with this part is I want to delete everything from my staging table to make sure when I start everything it starts from scratch. So delete from SP staging 1. That's awesome. So this is done. Just to give you more feel, and just so you guys know what is here, I'm gonna use one more. I'm gonna use script task here. I'll just use script task. I'm using it just because to show you how to use script task and what it is. Using script task, you can transfer variables from different sections, and you use C Sharp or virtual basic language to operate on it. So it's really powerful tool. But right now I'll just double click it. I'll select the language. So I'm just gonna select C Sharp. There are no variables that I'm using. I'll edit script. It's taking some time to create the compiler and the editor for C Sharp, but there it is. So right now what I'll just do is I'll just do a message box. Whoops. MESSAGE. Ha. I would have to type it all, I guess. Message box dot show. I just want to display about to import data. How does that sound? And I'll end it. The name does not exist. MESSAGE. I do not. I have no idea what's going on. This should work actually. There it is. I'll just copy paste it if it's not working. I always have a backup plan. Makes your life seem simple and easier, right? Okay. You know what? I'm gonna discard it and I'm gonna that should not happen. Okay, I'll just get out of it. Edit script again, and it's still there. Let's see what's the problem. I do not want any change. I'm gonna do it again. I'm so sorry about all this mess up. It's just it's frustrating. Okay, main script, message box. Why is message box? Okay, so it's case sensitive. I am so sorry about that. There we are. I am not that handy with C Sharp, I guess. You guys know now. And there it is. Okay, it's all gone now. That's final. I'll save it and I'll close it and I'll press OK. Phew, that took forever. Okay, so now that we have script task, I'm gonna go ahead and create a data flow task. I'll link that up, double click the data flow task. My source is coming from a flat file and my destination is OLEDB. I'll connect these two things, but it's double click it. I'll browse my CVS file. I'll select my CVS file, look at the columns, everything looks fine. I'll press OK, OLEDB. I'll select a table here. This is my staging table. Select my staging table. I'll check the mapping. If everything is good, everything looks good, I'll press OK. So we're good to go. So right now my staging table should be empty. Let me just check it again. My staging table is empty, and I'm gonna start the project. It's running, about to import data. That was my message. Press OK. You can see those green tick marks, and that's good to go. So I'm gonna execute that again, and look, there is the data. Voila. Okay, so now the next step of the video. See a few things that we can do. Actually, I'm gonna delete everything from SP staging table so that we can go further, because that was not the aim. Okay, so everything is gone. So let's go back to control flow. So now what we can do here is we have few options. Okay, to denormalize data, either you can use the transformation called lookup transformation. If you go to data flow and if you go to transformation, common ones, there is lookup. So you can use lookup to split the data, or you can use slow changing dimension to change up the data, or you can use SQL procedures to change the data, or you can use merge statement. In this video, I'm going to be using lookup, and I'm going to be using SQL procedures. Let's see how lookup works. Okay, I'll go to control flow. I already have data here, and I'm going to create a next data flow. This one, what this one does is add data to staging table. What this one would do is take data from staging table. So this time my source would be OLEDB, and I'm taking data in from staging table. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be using a transformation called multicast. So what multicast does is it will let me use this data in multiple places, which I do. So I'm gonna be use lookup, and I'm gonna be using two lookups. So I'll connect one lookup. So the same data is gonna same data would be coming to lookup and lookup one, and I'll use lookup one for, let's say, S table. Let me just say this to redirect to no match output. Let me go to connection. Like I said, this would be S1 table. Okay, and I'm gonna look at the columns. So S name is S name, and status is status, and the city is city. And I'm not gonna do anything about S hash, because I know this is my identity column. Press OK, and let's set this thing up for P. So in general, change it to redirect rows to no match output. If I go to connection, I'm gonna select P table, and I'll select my columns. P name is P name right there, color is right there, weight is right here, and my city is P city right here. Press OK. So what I'm gonna so my destinations are OLEDB destination, but the thing is, if I directly add lookup to OLEDB, there'll be a lot of redundancy. To remove redundancy, we can use sort transformation. So if I go to common sort, I'm gonna join this lookup, set to no match. Hold on, I'm gonna set to no match and remove row duplicates. I'll check that on, and I'm gonna be sorting. This one is for S, so S name, status, cities. That would be my sorting criteria for. Okay, I'll connect the output, select it to no match, double click. This is P, so these three were for P's. I'm gonna select them, and I forget to remove duplicates again. Okay, so let's set up the connection. This one was S table, right? Okay, and mapping, and everything seems to be matched, right? Looks good. This one is P table, mapping, everything. Let's look at that. Actually, the city is not the city, so I'm gonna remove it. This city is P city. So there you go. Just double check it every time. Okay, here I am. Everything is done. So if I'm gonna play it, let's see, about to import data, and everything is done. And I would want to see if there is data in my, there is data, and there is no redundancy too. So there you go. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the second type, which second way to do it, which is using a procedure. So I've already typed in the procedure. What this procedure is going to do is it's going to insert into S and S1 and P1 and SP1 using staging table. This is a really efficient way to do it compared to the one that I just told you. The one I told you, so the way how lookup works is it can check, like you can use lookup to make sure that if there is data available, then do this, if not, then do this. So you can use lookup to actually look up some amount of data in the table. So if I want to see that, you know, if supplier ID is 12, so I'll just use lookup and see if the supplier ID is 12, I'll do this. If supplier ID is more, not 12, I'll save the data somewhere else. So this is what you can use lookup for. I just wanted to give you a feel on how it looks like and how you can use it. Let's go to exit this. Always you can just click here and you'll be back to the editing window. Now instead of adding it like this, I'm gonna use SQL task, and my SQL task, again I'm gonna select the connection, and my SQL statement would be execute my procedure. So I have not created the procedure yet. Control V. I'm gonna execute this. That's my procedure, which is compiled now. Control C, and I'll execute this procedure. So let's clear all the data first. So I'll not just clear staging table now. I would want to clear all the tables. There you go. These are my all tables that I would want to clear, and let's just actually go ahead and clear them in SQL. Execute. All the rows are cleared now. Okay, so so this is what's gonna happen. This execute statement will clear all the tables. The script will show that it's about to enter data. This data flow will add data to staging table, and this execute statement would run the procedure that splits the data and put it into different tables. So let's, fingers crossed, I'm gonna start it and hopefully everything works. About to import data. Okay, and let's see if we have data. So my P table data, my staging table, voila, there are data for each tables, and this is how you do it. So there are a lot of things that you would like to play about. So you can actually, you know, click on these links, which I'm not able to. Yep. And if you right click it, there are variables that you can set, and okay, so I'm just trying to yep, there you go. If you enable data viewer, which is really good, then you can see if I execute it again, about to import data, so I can see all the data in particular step. I can even customize it. And if I go to edit, I can if I go to data viewer, I can select the columns that I just want to see. And maybe I just want to see the p name. Okay, so if I run it again, I'll just see the p name for that particular column. So this is one thing, and if you know few other things, you can debug. I really would suggest you to go to, you can create breakpoints, and all whenever you play, there's a lot of things actually. I would like to cover everything in different video, I guess. You would love it. These are a lot of things. Also, one quick thing before I leave: sorts are not too good to use, because what sorting does is it is an asynchronous method, so it operates on all the columns at the same time. So it takes a lot of data. It takes a lot of time and operation. So sorting is usually slow. That's why I asked you not to do that process. And I guess merge statements are really good, and procedures and functions are really good. That's about it on this video. I hope that you guys learned something. If you did not, just you can scroll back and look what I did. I'm sorry, I was too fast, but I did not want you to spend a lot of time, I guess. Okay, thank you so much for watching the video. Let me know in the comment section how you find it, and if you have any questions. Thank you so much.